I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. We are continuing with Thessalonians again. This is during Paul's second missionary journey, his first mission into Greece. Persecuted in the north in Philippi, he is driven down south into Athens and later to Corinth, and from Corinth he writes back up north to the city of Thessalonians. And that is what we are reading right now. We are going to pick it up in chapter 3, but I will mention here that this is the one chapter in Thessalonians that has no Joseph Smith translation. So we will not be reading that. 1 Thessalonians chapter 3. Wherefore, when we could no longer forbear, we thought it good to be left at Athens alone, and sent Timotheus, our brother, and minister of God, and our fellow laborer in the gospel of Christ, to establish you, and to comfort you concerning your faith, that no man should be moved by these afflictions, for yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto. For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass, and ye know. For this cause, when I could no longer forbear, I sent to know your faith, lest by some means the tempter have tempted you, and our labor be in vain. But now, when Timotheus came from you unto us, and brought us good tidings of your faith and charity, and that ye have good remembrance of us always, desiring greatly to see us, as we also to see you. Therefore, brethren, we were comforted over you in all our affliction and distress by your faith. For now we live, if ye stand fast in the Lord. For what thanks can we render to God again for you, for all the joy wherewith we joy for your sakes before our God, night and day praying exceedingly that we might see your face, and might perfect that which is lacking in your faith. Now God himself, and our Father, and our Lord Jesus Christ, direct our way unto you, and the Lord make you to increase and abound in love one towards another, and toward all men, even as we do toward you, to the end he may establish your hearts unblameable in holiness before God, even our Father, at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ with all his saints. So here we have what gives us kind of the timeline of how this was working out. Remember, we read he came to Philippi, or him, Silas, and Timotheus were all traveling together. They come to Philippi. They have some converts, but there's a great persecution, and the people try to take Paul and Silas. So the converts, the Christians, sneak him out by night. They go to Thessalonica, where there's a great success. The people in Thessalonica embrace the gospel, but there is still persecution, which is led largely by people from Philippi coming down to Thessalonica in order to drive them out again. They go to Berea, and from Berea, again, persecutions arise. Paul goes by himself down to Athens. And then when he gets to Athens, he sends word for Timotheus to come join him and Silas. They come down to Athens, and while they're in Athens, Paul is again preaching. He has some success, but he is feeling a little anxious and a little bit concerned for the people in Thessalonica, and he wants to make sure that they're doing okay. So he sends Timothy back. While Timothy is going back to Thessalonica and is meeting with the saints there, Paul goes to Corinth. And this we know from the book of Acts, because in Acts, he sends for him to join him in Athens. Then we read he goes to Corinth, and while in Corinth, Timothy returns from Thessalonica. We read that in Acts. And then he gets the word that everything's good, the people are still strong in the faith, they're helping each other out, they've got good charity, they love each other, everything's going good. And so now Paul, in response to Timothy's report, writes this letter from Corinth. So this is the chapter that really gives us our timeline of when this epistle was written. And no, he keeps saying, I want to come back and see you as soon as I can. I can't come now, I'm going to try, but you're always on my thoughts. It's a very touching chapter. He also again commends them to the second coming, the coming of our Lord with all his saints. He's talking about the second coming. And he's saying, I am grateful that God has kept you in the faith, and may we all remain faithful until Christ returns. Now, as I said, there are no Joseph Smith translations here, so we're going to leave that here, and we'll pick it up in chapter 4 in our next video. So I will see you there.